Hello, please one of you reply. Hello. Okay, we'll start. So we are going to discuss regarding the female reproductive system today. Okay. So in the female reproductive system, only three slides are there. That is, first is the slide of histological slide or the microanatomical slide of the this microanatomical slide of ovary. Then the second is the fallopian tube, that is the uterine tube, and third is the uterus. Okay, so ovary, fallopian tube, and the uterus. So that we are going to discuss today. So you can see here, this is the female reproductive tract. So this female reproductive tract, it consists of this is the vagina. Okay, vagina. Then this is the uterus. So uterus, it consists of last time also I told you, uterus, it consists of fundus, a body, and the cervix. Fundus, body, and the cervix. And these are the two uterine tubes. Two uterine tubes. They are also known as the fallopian tube. And posterior to the uterine tubes, there is a very important organ that is located. That is known as the ovary. So overall, the female reproductive tract, it consists of this vagina, uterus, fallopian tube, and the ovary. So one by one we are going to discuss. So this is the very schematic representation of the ovary. First of all, we are going to discuss the ovary structure, microscopical structure of the ovary. So this microscopical structure of the ovary, it consists of the ovary. It is covered by the germinal epithelium. It is covered by the cubical, simple cuboidal germinal epithelium, and after that we will get another one covering known as the tunica albuginea, So simple epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, followed by the germinal, followed by the covering known as the tunica albuginea. Are you able to hear me? Please reply. Please reply. Are you able to hear me? Please reply. त्यांचे मायक्रोफोन ऑन करून मला काही समजलं नाही, समजायला
काय झालंय की फुल विकार वगैरे
नाही, मी ते मॅनेज करतो. होणार
अच्छा दुसऱ्या डिस्टन्स जायला मी बघितलं म्हणजे
जायला ना. Then so below that germinal epithelium, that is the simple cuboidal epithelium, and the covering known as the tunica albuginea, it consists of various cells starting from the primordial follicle up to the mature ovarian follicle. So overall, this is the ovary. So this ovary, it consists of outer area known as the cortex, and inner area is known as the medulla. So this cortex, it consists of primordial follicle, primary follicle, secondary follicle, mature ovarian follicle. All these cells are seen in the cortex, whereas this is the medulla, which consists of connective tissue plus the arteries and the vein which are supplying to the ovary. So what is the structure of the ovary? Go from outside in. First, germinal epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium, then the covering known as the tunica albuginea, then the area known as the cortex, and innermost area is known as the medulla. So So this is the overall the picture of the ovary. So this is the simple cuboidal epithelium, this is the cortex, and this is the medulla. So starting from the primordial epithelium up to the mature ovarian follicle. So this is the ovary. So outermost covering cortex, and this is the where I am moving the cursor. This is known as the medulla. Okay. So that is the thing. So this is the medulla, and this is the cortex, and these are the various cells are seen in the. So what do you mean by all these cells? What is the structure of all these cells? So this is the where I am moving the cursor. That is the primordial follicle. So primordial follicle, it consists of outer lining epithelium known as the and these are the squamous cells. These are known as the outer covering, known as the outer covering of the cell, known as the follicular cell. Then this outer covering of the cell is changing into its shape known as the simple cuboidal epithelium, and that is the single layer of the follicle is seen, and zona pellucida starts appearing. Okay, then after that is the this is the multilaminar, means these follicular cells, they multiply and they get arranged around the this nucleus, and zona pellucida is well formed. So multi-layered follicular cells, primordial follicle में क्या रहता है, single but squamous. यूनिलैमिलर में क्या रहता है, सिंपल क्यूबॉइडल. This follicular cells, it divides and redivides and get arranged into layers, and zona pellucida it is covering. But this is the secondary follicle where the cavity it appears. This cavity is known as the antral cavity. That is known as the antrum. That is known as the antrum. Follicular, also known as the follicular cavity. As soon as follicular cavity it appears, it is known as the secondary follicle. It is known as the secondary follicle. Okay, and this is the mature graphene follicle. This is known as the mature graphene follicle. This cavity is well formed. Cavity is well formed, and ovule, ovule is shifted towards one side. Around the ovule, this if you are going from outside in, the layers are outermost is the theca externa, then the theca interna, then the follicular cells, then the cavity, and towards one side is the ovule, and this ovule, it is covered by the cells. Towards the cavity, these cells, they are known as the corona radiata, and towards the periphery, it is known as the cumulus ophoricus. Cumulus ophoricus. So these are the various cells starting from the primordial follicle up to the mature graphene follicle. These are the cells which are seen in the cortex, whereas the medulla, it consists of arteries and the veins which are supplying to the ovary. So you can see here, this is the primary follicle with the oocyte. This is the oocyte, primary follicle with the oocyte. Why we are seeing primary follicle? Because cavity is not appeared yet. So that's why it is known as the primary follicle. And the follicular cells here, where I am moving the cursor, the follicular cells, they are arranged in a multi-layered. So granulosa cells or the follicular cells, they are divided and redivided to be get arranged into many layers. And this is the primary primary oocyte. It is covered by a covering known as the zona pellucida. So you can see here, this is the corona radiata, this is the cumulus ophoricus, okay, and this is the oocyte, primary oocyte, covered by a covering known as the zona pellucida, and these are the primary, these are the follicular cells. These are the follicular cell, and it is a mature one because the cavity, antral cavities appeared. So this is the corpus luteum. This is the corpus luteum. We don't have slide of this corpus luteum. Now coming to, okay. So overall, what is the structure of the this ovary? So we are ending with the ovary, discussion of ovary. So outermost covering is the germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium. After that is the tunica albuginea, and this area, overall this area, it is divided into two parts. Outer is known as the cortex and inner is known as the medulla. Medulla, it consists of blood vessels, and cortex, it consists of starting from the primary follicle up to the mature graphene follicle, the cells. Cortex में क्या रहता है? Starting from primary follicle up to the mature, and this is the structure of the mature graphene follicle. Mature graphene follicle में क्या रहता है? Is the This is the structure of mature graphene follicle. Go from outside in, theca externa, theca interna, then the follicular cells, then the antral cavity, and the primary inside. Primary inside is shifted towards one side because of the cavity. And the cells towards the cavity, they are known as the corona radiata. And the cells which are attaching to the wall of the graphene follicle, they are known as the tumulus of the structure of the mature graphene follicle. So all these cells are seen in the cortex, and this is the medulla which consists of blood vessels which are supplying to the ovary. So that is about the ovary. Okay. Now coming to the structure of the uterus. So you can see this is the uterus. Uterus, it consists of three parts. Fundus. Fundus is a part of uterus which is above the opening of the uterine tube. Then this is the body of the uterus, and this is the cervix of the uterus. So there are three parts, main three parts of the uterus. That is the fundus, body, and the cervix. Now coming to the structure of this uterus. So uterus, it consists of three parts. That is the endometrium, then the myometrium, and then the perimetrium. So कौन से three parts रहते हैं? One is endometrium, second is the myometrium, and third one is the perimetrium. So endometrium, myometrium, and perimetrium, if we are going from inside out, so endometrium, it consists of lining epithelium, which is simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. The simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. Then after the epithelium, you will get the lamina propria. And in the lamina propria, you will get these uterine glands. So shape of the uterine gland, it depends upon the stage of the menstrual cycle. So here, this is the uterus, where these uterine glands which are seen in the lamina propria, they are not coiled. Coiled uterine glands, they are seen in the secretory phase of the menstrual cycle. So these uterine glands, they are straight glands. So what is the structure of endometrium? Endometrium lining epithelium is simple columnar epithelium. Below that, you will get the lamina propria. In the lamina propria, you will get the uterine glands, and the shape of the uterine glands, straight or coiled. So secretory phase में कौन से uterine glands मिलते हैं? They are the coiled uterine glands. Whereas here we are getting the straight glands. And then next layer, so endometrium में तीन चीजें याद रखो आप. Epithelium, simple columnar epithelium, first layer. Then second is the lamina propria. Lamina propria में क्या मिलता है? Is the uterine gland. Shape of the uterine gland, it depends upon the stage of the menstrual cycle, coiled or straight. Then next layer is the myometrium. Myometrium, it consists of myometrium. Name itself suggests that, say, the myometrium, it consists of smooth muscle, and the endometrium. So these are all the smooth muscles. So, and the last layer is known as the perimetrium, which is the covering of the peritoneum. So you can see here, this is the secretory phase of this uterus. So first is the epithelium, that is the simple columnar epithelium, and below that is the lamina propria. You can see this is the secretory phase of the uterus, and the uterine glands, they are coiled, saw tooth, tooth of the saw, like sawtooth shape. So this is the coiled uterine gland, and so these are the structure which are seen in the endometrium, and this is known as the myometrium, which consists of smooth muscles. So that is about the uterus. So this is the higher magnification. These uterine glands, they are coiled, and this layer is known as the myometrium. Now coming to the uterine tube, structure of the uterine tube. So uterine tube, it consists of, it is the tubular structure, and the mucous membrane of the uterine tube, it is thrown into many mucous membrane folds, and the mucous membrane folds, it is lined by the simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. Very important, this mucous membrane, the epithelium, lining epithelium of the uterine tube, it is lined by the simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. Then after that, the lining epithelium, you will get the smooth muscles, you will get the smooth muscle, and last is the serosa. Last is the serosa. So remember, uterine tube, it consists of lining epithelium. The mucous membrane means lining epithelium is thrown into mucous membrane folds, and जो भी white space दिख रहा है, that is nothing but the cavity. That is nothing but the cavity. Okay. So one is the epithelium. Lining epithelium is simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. Okay, and thrown into many folds. And second layer is the this inner longitudinal and the outer circular layer, smooth muscles, and the last layer is known as the serosa. Okay, so that is about the uterine tube or the fallopian tube. So you will get in the epithelial lining, you will get the two types of the cells, that is the ciliated cells and the secretory cells. Ciliated cells and the secretory cells. So now coming to the placenta, very important, placenta. Okay. So first we are going to discuss the placenta. Wait a minute. I have other. First, we are going to discuss the placenta. Means the things which are essential to understand the microscopic structure of the placenta. We are having this slide of a placenta. So this is the decidua basalis. Decidua basalis, that is the maternal surface, and this is the fetal surface. This is the fetal surface. From fetal surface arises the chorionic villi. These chorionic villi, they are of two types mainly. That is the anchoring villi, which are anchored to the decidua basalis, means to the maternal surface, and the free villi, that is known as the floating villi. They are also divided into primary villi, secondary villi, and tertiary villi. Primary villi are only having a one layer, that is known as the layer of the tropoblast. Secondary villi are tropoblast. बाद में उसके बाद में अंदर क्या रहता है, extra embryonic mesoderm. And third type is known as the tertiary villi. Tertiary villi, outermost is the tropoblast. Second layer is extra embryonic mesoderm, and the innermost, it is having the blood vessels. So here, remember, the villi in this diagram, they are of two types: anchoring villi, anchored to the decidua basalis, and these are the free villi. They are known as the floating villi. They are known as the floating villi. Other type of classification is primary villi. Primary villi में क्या रहता है? Only one layer, that is the tropoblast. Secondary villi में क्या रहता है? Secondary villi, outer is the tropoblast, inner is the extra embryonic mesoderm. And third type is known as the tertiary villi. Tertiary villi में तीन layer रहते हैं, as name itself suggests. One is outermost is the tropoblast, next is the extra embryonic mesoderm, and third one is core. It consists of blood vessels. So that is the classification. Now histological structure, you can see here, this is the chorionic plate, and these are the villi. These are the villi. Okay, so these are the cytotrophoblast, and these are known as the syncytiotrophoblast. These are the floating villi that just now I told you, and these are known as the anchoring villi, anchored to the decidua basalis. So remember here, these are the floating villi, these are the anchoring villi. Okay, so and in between these villi, you will get the maternal blood. That is that maternal blood is present in the intervillous space. So you can see here, these are the anchoring villi. Same slide we are having. This is the histological picture. This is the anchoring villi, and these are the floating villi. These are the floating villi, and in between these villi you will get the intervillous space, which consists of maternal blood. So this is the structure of the tertiary villi. Outer is syncytial trophoblast, inner one is the cytotrophoblast, and innermost is the blood vessel. So syncytial trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, extraembryonic mesoderm, and innermost. So it is the structure of the tertiary villi. Just now I told you primary villi में only trophoblast, secondary villi में क्या रहता है? Secondary villi में क्या रहता है? Trophoblast plus extraembryonic mesoderm, and tertiary villi में this is the structure of the tertiary villi. Syncytial trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, innermost it consists of blood vessels. Okay, so that's it regarding the this placenta. Okay, now placenta finished. Now coming to the okay, same thing we finished just now. So you can see here, this is the chorionic plate, these are the anchoring villi, and these are the floating villi. In between you will get the this maternal blood. Okay, so that's it regarding the, so same thing they are showing. This is the structure of the tertiary villi, syncytiotropoblast, cytotrophoblast, and innermost is the maternal fetal blood vessels which are supplying. Okay, so that's it regarding the placenta. Same here. Now coming to the this now third slide or third structure that we must know regarding the female reproductive tract. This is the accessory organ of the female reproductive tract, that is the mammary gland. So mammary gland, it consists of lobes. Okay, so these lobes, one lobe I am describing here, that is the nipple, that is the areola where it is, this lobe is opening. Then each lobe, it consists of the now description of each lobe. Okay, so such 15 to 20 lobes are present in each mammary gland. Okay, so this is the lactiferous duct which is opening into the nipple, so this is the lactiferous duct. Then the at the end of lactiferous duct there is a dilatation of lactiferous duct known as the sinus, lactiferous sinus, and this duct, it is having the lobules, and each lobule, it is having the acini. So this is the, there are two types of the mammary gland, that is the inactive mammary gland, means pregnancy के पहले जो mammary gland रहता है, that is known as the inactive gland. Only duct system is located. Such type of acini are not much more in the inactive. Only duct system is well developed. Whereas active में क्या रहता है? Tubulo alveolar secretory part रहता है, that is known as the acini. So non-pregnant female में क्या रहता है? Only duct system. During pregnancy, this duct system it proliferates. Okay, and lactation में क्या होता है? These are the alveolar acini along with the much developed duct system. So that is the difference between the non-pregnant, only duct system. During pregnancy, the proliferation of the duct system, and lactation में क्या होता है? Proliferation of the duct system as well as acini. More acini are located in the lactating. So this is known as the active mammary gland, and this is known as the inactive mammary gland. Now the structure. So inactive mammary gland में क्या रहता है? There are two parts histologically in the in any mammary gland, active as well as inactive. One is the gland and second one is the connective tissue. So inactive mammary gland में क्या रहता है? Less glands, more connective tissue. Less glands and more connective tissue. So that is the structure of inactive mammary gland. Whereas active mammary gland में क्या रहता है? More glands, more alveoli, and less connective tissue. So just compare, this is the active mammary gland and this is the inactive mammary gland. So more connective tissue, this is the active, less connective tissue. This is the inactive, less glands, less alveoli, and this is the active, more alveolar. So that is about the mammary gland, that is the active and inactive mammary gland. So that's it regarding the mammary gland. So overall, we'll just revise the things starting from the ovary. Okay, so it consists of vagina, uterus, uterine tube, and this ovary. So this mammary gland as well as the placenta, they are the accessory to it. So the ovary का structure क्या रहता है? Germinal epithelium, tunica albuginea, cortex and medulla. Cortex में क्या रहता है? Starting from primordial follicle up to the mature follicle, all the cells are located in the cortex, and this is the medulla. All the blood vessels which are supplying to the ovary, they are located here. Okay. So same thing here, outer is the germinal epithelium, then tunica albuginea, this is the cortex, starting from the primary follicle up to the mature follicle, okay, and this is the medulla. So this is the same thing, histological picture, this is the mature graphene follicle. Now coming to the structure of mature graphene follicle, go from outside in theca interna, theca externa, theca interna, then the follicular cells, antral cavity, the cells primary oocyte is shifted towards one side because of the antral cavity, and the cells which are towards the antral cavity, they are known as the corona radiata. Then after that is the zona pellucida, and cumulus ophoricus is the cells which are attaching to the wall of the mature graphene follicle. So this is the primordial follicle, follicular cells, they multiply. Here the secondary follicle, because the cavity it is appeared, and this is the mature cavity, and this is the mature graphene follicle. So that is about the, so same thing here, same thing here. This is the corona radiata, cumulus ophoricus, this is the zona pellucida, and this is the primary oocyte. So that's it regarding the ovary. Now the uterus. So uterus के तीन parts रहते हैं, fundus, body and the cervix. So the 13 parts रहते हैं histologically. One is the endometrium, second one is the myometrium, third one is the perimetrium. Endometrium, it consists of lining epithelium, that is known as the simple columnar epithelium. Below that is the lamina propria, and in the lamina propria you will get the glands. The glands are known as the uterine glands. Shape of the uterine glands, it depends upon the stage of the menstrual cycle. In the secretory phase, in the lamina propria you will get the uterine gland. These are the uterine gland. In the secretory phase, the uterine glands, they are the coiled one, whereas in the rest of the phase of menstrual cycle, all these uterine glands, they are straight. This is the myometrium, which consists of smooth muscle, and the last layer is known as the perimetrium, which is covering of the peritoneum. So that's it regarding the, so this is the secretory phase, because the uterine glands, they are coiled. So same here. Now coming to the uterine tube, fallopian tube. So lining epithelium is thrown into too many mucous membrane folds, and lining epithelium is simple columnar epithelium with the cilia. Then after the epithelium you will get the, this where I am moving the cursor, after that epithelium you will get the smooth muscle, and last layer is known as the serosa. So that's it regarding the uterine tube. Then same here, the two types of the cells are seen, secretory cell, they are known as the PEG cells, and the ciliated cells in the lamina propria, in the mucosa, that is the lining epithelium of the uterine tube. Then the we'll skip this, I'll show you later this placenta. So lobules रहते हैं, structural and functional unit of the this mammary gland. In each mammary gland it consists of 15 to 20 lobules. This is the structure of the lobule, one single lobule. This is the nipple and areola, where the lactiferous duct it opens, and at the end of lactiferous duct, this lactiferous duct it is dilated to form a lactiferous sinus, and these are the lobules. Lobules, it consists of too many acina. So inactive, so two types of the gland, inactive and active. Inactive में क्या रहता है, only duct system is present. Active में क्या रहता है, duct system as well as the alveoli, acina, duct system as well as the acina. Okay, that is the difference between the inactive and active one. So non-pregnant में only duct system. During pregnancy, duct system proliferate. During lactation, duct system proliferate as well as the acini are proliferated. So This is the inactive mammary gland, less glandular tissue, more connective tissue. Whereas this is the active mammary gland, more glands, less connective tissue. Now, so this is the placenta. This is the maternal part of the placenta known as the deciduobasalis, and this is the fetal part. Okay, so from fetal part, chorionic villi arises. Okay, and they are of two types here in this diagram. They are anchoring villi, which are anchored to the deciduobasalis, and the free villi. And histologically also three types of the villi are there: primary villi, chorionic villi, only one layer of trophoblast. Secondary villi, two layers. That is the trophoblast plus extraembryonic mesoderm. And tertiary villi, trophoblast, extraembryonic mesoderm, and innermost is the blood. So you can see here. Now the placenta, will go to the placenta. So you can see here, this is the deciduobasalis. These are the anchoring villi, and rest are the floating villi. Okay, and in between these floating villi, you will get the maternal blood. Okay, you will get the maternal. So this is the tertiary villi structure. Outer is the sensitive trophoblast, then the cytotrophoblast, and innermost is the fetal blood vessels. So same here. Tertiary villus structure, sensitive trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, and the fetal blood. So that's it regarding the placenta also. So here, this diagram I explained regarding the placenta. So this is the deciduobasalis. These are the anchoring villi, and these are the floating villi. Okay, floating villi, and in between you will get the intervillous space, which is filled with the maternal blood. Same here, anchoring and floating, and this is the intervillous space. Same here, tertiary villus picture, that is the syncytial cytotrophoblast, and inner is the fetal blood. So that's it regarding this female reproductive tract. Okay, so what we discussed: ovary, fallopian tube, uterus, placenta.